Hi there, welcome to my channel Learn English Easy from Seraman. Foreign learners of English have to understand one vital point that English language is not a phonetic language. In many languages around the world, you may find the letters and sounds don't vary. They represent the sounds as they are. But English is a peculiar language in which you find the sounds and letters vary. For example, some letters are very silent and some represent altogether a different sound pattern. I already explained this in my previous video. There are many difficulties. Foreign learners of English have to meet these challenges. There are many reasons for this, and we will discuss all these difficulties and challenges in future videos. At the moment, I would like to explain one point that English language has been borrowing words from many languages, particularly French, Latin, Scandinavian, and so many languages around the world. That English is such a flexible language which borrows many words from many languages across the world. That's why this English language is growing unimaginably. At the same time, this problem of borrowing from foreign languages create a lot of challenges for the foreign learners of English. While borrowing words from other languages, English language takes the spelling and not the sounds. This is one of the many difficulties you find with the foreign learners of English language in learning English pronunciation particularly. And now in this video also, in continuation of the first video, I would like to say some more words which are commonly mispronounced. We will see one after another now. Let's go to the first word, resume. Resume. It's a French borrowing meaning personal, professional, educational qualification and experience of a person. This is the meaning of the word resume. At this moment, I would like to explain to you the difference between resume and CV, that is curriculum vitae. CV is a little bit longer. It may come around 10 pages sometimes. The meaning originally of CV, curriculum vitae, is the course of life. Resume with accented E is pronounced as resume, resume in British. But Americans pronounce this as resume, resume. This is the difference. Okay, let's move on to the second word now. Debris. Debris. D-E-B-R-I-S. Debris. S is silent here. The meaning for the word debris is broken pieces of rocks or rubbish. Workmen are clearing the debris on the roads. And this pronunciation is commonly pronounced both in British and American. Okay, let's move on to the third word, a very interesting word, mischievous. Mischievous. Spelling MISCHIEVOUS. Mischievous. Accent on M. Mischievous. Some people pronounce this as mischievous also with a long I. Many people think this word as trisyllabic or a four-syllabic word, but it is not so. This is a disyllabic word. It appears disyllabic when most of the native speakers speak very fastly. Mischievous, mischievous. Okay, on to the fourth word, RECEIPT, receipt. This word should not be pronounced as receipt. P is silent here. This is pronounced both in British and American all the same. Receipt. Make sure that you are given a receipt for your payment. It's a piece of paper given as an acknowledgement for the money you give. We call that as receipt, the long E sound. Okay, let's move on to the fifth word. Spelling is Bury. Most Indians pronounce this word as bury with a sound. The U sound is pronounced as if it is a. Bury, burial. But the correct pronunciation for this word is berry, as if the spelling is Beri. That's a kind of a fruit, berry. 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 More or less like that. A dog is searching for a bone which was buried long back. Bury. This word bury is commonly pronounced both in American and British. Now we will move on to another interesting word, clothes. Clothes. Spelling Clothes. Clothes. If it is singular, Cloth, we pronounce that as cloth. Cloth. Please note the same letter O is pronounced for the word cloth as A, and plural clothes is pronounced with an O sound. Look at the difference. Cloth, cloth, clothing. Cloth, cloth, and clothing. This is the difference. And you must also note the word ith sound. There are two kinds of sound when you pronounce thick, Thick, thick. It is prominently pronounced, but at the same time, when you pronounce if sound for words like close, it is very lightly pronounced. Close, thick, thin, close. So practice it by repeatedly pronouncing both the prominent sound and the lighter sound in so many words. The seventh word is another interesting word, Wednesday. Wednesday. Spelling Wednesday. Wednesday. Some people pronounce this word as Wednesday. Wednesday. That is wrong. The actual pronunciation for this word is Wednesday, as if the spelling is Wenzday. Wednesday. Here also you must note the A sound. Day, D-A-Y is pronounced as if it is D-E-I, day. Wednesday. And some people pronounce this as Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday also. And some people pronounce this as D-I, and most people pronounce this as day, D-I. So the right pronunciation for this word, Wednesday, is Wednesday. Okay, let's move on to the eighth word. Poem. P-O-E-M. Poem. A kind of a composition written in metrical feet along with rhythmical lines. We call this as poem. But there is a light difference between American and British. British pronunciation is poem, poem, as if the spelling is P-O-E-M, actual representation, P-O-E-M. But the American pronunciation is a little different, as if it is P-O-U-M, poem. But definitely it is not a monosyllabic word. That you have to note. This is not a monosyllabic word, as many people pronounce this as poem. It is a disyllabic word. You pronounce this either as poem or poem. Let us move on to the ninth word, spelt as C-O-U-P. A sudden, violent, illegal seizure of power of some nation. This is called coup. P is silent here, and we call that as coup, both in American and in British. Okay, let's move on to the final word, comfortable. Spelling C-O-M-F-O-R-T-A-B-L-E. The word appears to be possessing 3 syllables, but actually by native speakers this is pronounced as a disyllabic word, comfortable. Comfortable, with stress on K. Comfortable. Okay, let us see more videos like this in future on pronunciation particularly, and you practice these words by standing before a mirror and twisting your tongue accordingly with the native pronunciation, and definitely I am sure your English will become more reachable and more communicative. Thank you.